What's going on, guys? I'm coming at you live here. This is actually one of my first live streams here in the office, so I'll give you guys a quick tour as people start to sign in. This is North Digital's head office, and the content of this video is going to be how to start a business with $0. And, in my type of business, a digital agency, one of the reasons I look at as a digital marketing agency as a really good entry level entrepreneurship endeavor and a really good business to start if you're new to entrepreneurship is because it actually requires zero startup costs, which is extremely unique compared to other types of businesses. And awesome, we got one viewer. If any of you guys watching live want to ask me a question, it'll pop up on my screen here and I'll definitely give you an answer. But the way I started my business when I had $0 to invest was I thought about a service I could offer. And in my case, I actually decided that what I was going to be doing is building websites for businesses that had bad websites. And guys, at this time, I literally didn't even know how to build a website. But what I decided to do was cold call businesses out of the Yellow Pages. So literally all I needed was yellowpages.ca. I'm in Canada, so that was the website I used, and a telephone. And then I would just call them up. I would find the ones that had a bad website. So I would look at their website before I called, and then I would call them and convince them to hire me to build them a website. Now, at the time, I was selling these website services for maybe $400 a pop, which is really, really low. But for me, that was all I felt confident with offering at the time. And like I said, there were no startup costs involved in the business. So what happened is, I spent a couple of weeks doing cold calls. I would try to do 50 a day. And man, I haven't done a cold call now in a long, long time. And I don't miss a lot about it, but that's how you have to get started if you don't have any money to invest. So I started cold calling businesses and selling them websites. I got about 10 clients this way. And then I gradually started to charge more for each website. So I started off at $400 a site, and then I went to $600, and then it went up to about $1,200. And at about that point, when I was selling these websites for $1,000 per site, it honestly still was not that profitable, but I had proven to myself that I had the ability to be an entrepreneur. Because in my opinion, until you've made a little bit of actual revenue, you're kind of a wantrepreneur. You're not actually a real entrepreneur until you've made a little bit of money at it. So I took that confidence and leveraged that into more sophisticated ways of gaining clients. But if you're watching this video and you really want to start a business, but you don't have savings, there's no excuse. It's literally as simple as pick up the phone, call a company that has a bad website and says, hey, have you thought about updating your website? I can do that for you. Now, it's crazy to think where I am today compared to where I was back then, because now what I do is I sell search engine optimization services to larger companies, and I try to sell them for a minimum of $2,000 per month management fee. And as you guys can imagine, this can add up pretty quickly. And then I have a small team that works for me that does most of the actual work, and I aim to make approximately 50% margin. So that's kind of the evolution of my business really, really quickly, and there was a ton of steps along the way. But the point of this video is there's 2 points. The first one is to start a business with $0. What you should do, one of the best and easiest ways to do that is find a service you can offer other businesses and then simply approach them through cold calling, through showing up at their door. Jamie Jackson says hi. Hey Jamie, thanks for tuning in. Jamie, are you working on any business opportunities? I'll wait for your response as I keep going. The second point of this live stream is to talk about this idea of minimal viable product. So in business, how I still run my business is I always pride myself on speed of implementation rather than doing things perfectly and rather than perfection. So whenever I'm going into new markets, trying a new thing, trying to sell a new service, as soon as I have it as an idea, I am talking to leads and trying to get them to sign on. All right, this says, Jamie says, might start a web design business. Actually, that's how I found your channel. Awesome, Jamie. So what I was just saying is that if you're thinking about starting a website design business, don't spend any more time researching it. Book a couple of mornings off this week or a couple of evenings and call some businesses. Literally pick up the phone, call them, and see if you can gain a little bit of traction. Christian says, hi, bro. I'm trying to sell restaurant websites and doing cold calls. How many sales yet? Awesome, man. Christian, that's awesome. You're doing cold calls. Honestly, you've progressed further than most entrepreneurs ever will. Most people literally just watch these videos and don't take any action. It's really sad. So nice job taking the cold calls. For me, it took about 200 cold calls before I got my first client. And that was selling really cheap stuff. So it's not easy at first, and it's even harder because you don't have a portfolio. What I can recommend is, if I could do it again, I would actually build my first 3 websites for free and then leverage that portfolio and ask those clients for referrals. So if you're having trouble getting sales, try, get a few in your portfolio. Say, hey, I'm new, I'm a website design expert. I want to build you a free website and then use you as part of my portfolio. And if you are happy with my work, I want you to recommend me to your friends and other people you know. This is actually a more effective way to combine cold calling with a referral funnel. And if I could go back, I would do that. Because like I said, it took me 200 cold calls to sell my first $400 website. All right, glad to see I gave you some value, man. Awesome. And how do I get businesses to trust me if I know of any history with past clients? So yeah, Jamie, similar thing that I was just saying to Christian is get 3 clients in your portfolio and offer to do it for free. Take 2 weeks to do this. And again, what you say to the businesses is, I'm new, I want to build you a free website. If you like it, you can use it. And then I would appreciate you to refer me to other clients. That's how I'd recommend starting. Having said that, that's actually not how I started. I started trying to sell it for money right away, but it's so hard to convince people at the beginning to pay you money if you don't have a portfolio. So if I could go back, I would offer to do it for free. And yeah, then again, leverage that to get further business. So yeah, it kind of brings me to another point, actually. One of the things I regret with how I started my business was I had no savings. I quit my job. 2 weeks before I quit, I went to the bank and got a line of credit. And I was literally going further into debt each month. So I felt all this crazy pressure to make money just to pay my rent and buy food. It was crazy. Manohar says, how are you, boss? I'm good, bro. I appreciate the love. And I regret putting myself up against the wall financially because it forces you to think short term. So if you want to start a business, A, save some money first, or B, set up your life so that you have a really, really low cost of living. You can eat cheaply, you can live with roommates, and that allows you to think longer term, which will, if I could go back and I was thinking longer term, I would have done websites for free, and then I would have leveraged those portfolio sites to start selling right away at probably $1,500 to $2,000 a site, rather than messing around for an entire year selling websites for under $1,000, which didn't really get me that far. I mean, it did. It got me here, but it was just so slow. And again, you guys, so if I could go back, I would have done them for free. Someone mentioned that they like selling websites in person. Yeah, I actually did get one of my early clients from literally walking into a bike rental store here in Vancouver, and approached him and I said, hey, I'm a specialist in websites. I noticed your website is not mobile device optimized. I rolled in there with my phone, brought up his site. I said, it's not looking good. It's not displaying properly. He just kind of liked me, so we ended up doing business together. He's actually still a client 2 years later, which is cool. Someone else said there's a lot of people in this industry, and yeah, man, you're totally right. There's a lot of people in this industry, and let me just show you guys around the office a bit here. But although it is a saturated business, it's there's also so many businesses that need help in digital marketing. And I would argue that the rate in which the demand for our services is going up, that's going up faster than the new people entering the market. So yes, there's a lot of competition, but there's a ton of possible business to get. And to be honest, like a lot of website designers are good at coding, but they don't have good social skills and good sales skills. And that's what set me apart, was focusing on sales. I could explain digital marketing in a way that people understood, which is super, super important. Someone asked, what do I use for my website builder? I used WordPress in the beginning. I think I went to like themeforest.com, and downloaded like WordPress templates. And like, you don't have to be a coder to do that. Pretty much anyone can do that. I'm gonna try to block the sun with my head. There we go. Someone else asked, did I take any cold calling courses? And I did actually. I think it was Udemy. I went on Udemy and I took like a $40 cold calling course. And it was all right. You know, it was nothing groundbreaking, but it gave me a little bit of a structure to go through. I would suggest doing that. The best, after you start doing a lot of cold calls, it'll just come a lot more naturally. What's a good script to use for cold calling, Christian? You know, I didn't use exact scripts myself, but I would go to Udemy, look up how to cold call, and get a course from there. The way I would generally do it is, you know, I would call the business up and said, hi, my name is Sean. I'm calling from North Digital. The reason I'm calling you is that I noticed your current website is a little bit out of date and it doesn't display properly on cell phones. So we specialize in building mobile optimized websites, which is really important because over 60% of web searches are done online. Would you be open to having a discussion regarding how I can help you improve your website? Honestly, that's pretty much what I said. And then they would say yes, they would say no, and I would just answer questions as I went. I do think scripts are good. I was always just more of kind of a get them on the phone and see where it goes. And really, it's going to come so much more naturally the longer you do it. But like I said, I started with a cold calling course on Udemy. I don't remember the exact name of it. You know, if you want to learn more about sales and cold calling, Grant Cardone is a great guy as well. I'm sure you guys, if you're in this niche, have probably heard of him. He has like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers, and he specializes in sales. So, you know, get him on the line look at his content. You're not going to be able to get him on the line unless you want to pay him thousands of dollars an hour. And okay, the last thing I want to leave you guys with before I sign off, because I got to go to a networking event soon, is cold calling is kind of the darkest period of your business's life. It's not easy, and it was the hardest months of my journey in entrepreneurship were those months sitting in my studio apartment, calling businesses, getting rejected. But I knew it would eventually lead to something better, which it has. All of my business now is from inbound leads, which is amazing. You know, building a business is like trying to start a beach fire. In the beginning, you're just trying so hard to have one of those sparks start something of substance. But once you get momentum, once you start getting referrals, once you gain confidence in your ability to sell and deliver results, it's incredible how much easier it is to get business. And the problem I see with most entrepreneurs is they never get past that initial hurdle. Like, no matter what, the first 6 months, guys, is going to be tough. If that was easy, then everyone would be entrepreneurs. But it gets easier and easier and more fun the further you go down the road. So did you have any mentors? You know what, Jamie, I actually wish I had had more in-person mentors. Like, I had a lot of YouTube mentors. I followed various people's YouTube channels that were doing similar things, I guess kind of like the channel I'm making now. I read a lot of entrepreneurship books and autobiographies of successful people, which helped as well. So I would start reading business books. In the comments, if you guys want to ask me what books I recommend, I'll respond with some of the good ones. Spin Selling, SPIN Selling, is a really well recommended sales book. Um, so anyway, guys, I think most of the questions on this live stream, most of the people watching, seem to be around they're in a beginning stage of their business, they're in the hard part of cold calling, and my advice to you guys is keep going with it. Embrace the fact it's going to be a grind, and know that one day you're not going to have to continually cold call to keep getting clients. And if you stick with it, it's going to be worth it. So I'm actually going to sign off here to guys. I got to go to a networking event, but as you can see, this is a lot nicer than when I was working out of my studio apartment, let me tell you. Last few questions. Oh, just as I'm leaving, we're getting more viewers in here. AFK Rackin, can you get clients via Facebook chat? Yeah, you totally can. I know chatbots are really popular right now. I personally haven't gotten into them that much, but yeah, I think that I know chatbots are a big opportunity. So if that is something you're interested in, then I would look further into that. I know that the open rates for Facebook messages are like way higher than for emails. All right, guys, if you like this type of content, please give me a comment, give me a like. Let me know if you like this live streaming format better than just me recording videos. I kind of like having the engagement actually, so I'm happy to do more of these live streams. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later.